Welcome, everybody, to Nothing But Net Philippines, and welcome to Oklahoma City. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We are right on the precipice of the start to find out who will be crowned this year's NBA champions. I will be catching up with a couple people on the show. We will be talking to Marc Spears as well as Youngmisuk in just a little bit. But for everyone that is tuning in right now, please make sure to follow us on all of our socials at ESPNPH and at ESPN Asia on Instagram, and all of our stuff on YouTube as well. So let's start it out. Joining us first on the show, it is the one and only Marc Spears. Joining us now on Nothing But Net Philippines from ESPN Glory, from Andscape as well, the one and only Marc Spears. How you doing, buddy?
Kumusta?
Hey, kamusta din? You know, so happy to be here.
So you were going to bring me lumpia.
Hey, we got to do this first. We said that it was going to come afterwards. We got to do some work first. You know, we got to trade first.
All right.
I'm going to get some insight from you, and I'm going to trade you some lumpia for it, all right?
Okay, I expect you to find some lumpia in Oklahoma.
Hey, we're going to find a way.
Good luck. You better make it yourself.
Let's start out with something that we always ask here on the show. And when it comes to the NBA Finals, what is one big thing that you're watching? It could be anything when it comes to this finals, from matchups to storylines to whatever. What's your one big thing?
I think the one big thing that people are going to see is the love of basketball in both places. You know, you've heard of the Hoosiers, the movie Hoosiers. They love basketball in Indiana, and obviously that's the next stop. And it's a huge deal in the state, you know, in their history. Tyrese Haliburton was just talking about how they have generations of fans that pass tickets down, and they know Pacers basketball. And if you go to their arena, you feel like you're watching a basketball game in the 50s. Wow. You know, it's real nostalgic. And then here, you'll see tomorrow. Have you been to a game here yet?
Not yet.
Loud City, baby.
Oh, yes.
It's loud. It reminds me of Oracle Arena when the Warriors used to play there. Now, across the street, they're going to build a new arena soon, and a lot of this will be gone. So, you know, taking Loud City, because it might be Muted City by the time the rich people take over and pay. But no, just these are two basketball-loving places. It's not a corporate fan base. There's a lot of basketball love here.
And that's a really interesting storyline here, because we get to showcase different kinds of fans, different fans that have never been put on this level before, and they're going to be going against one another. I'm going to move on to something that we also do around here, where it's simple. I'm sure you've done it before. Yeah. Fact or fiction. I'm going to be giving a statement, and you got to tell me if it's fact or fiction. If you want to back it up with
there usually might be a drink involved with that.
Hey, you know, lumpia and drinks, we got something else cooking up here. Let's start out with this one.
All right.
A B-level performance from OKC will be enough to win the NBA championship.
Fiction.
Why?
Pacers are good. You look, the team that had the second best record only to Oklahoma City since January 1st is the Pacers. I do think the Thunder are the favorites, but the Pacers are certainly capable of matching up with them, beating them. They beat them here last season, I believe. There's a lot of vets, a lot of confidence, great coaching. I like the Thunder, but they can't have a misstep where they take a game for granted.
Another one is, in terms of OKC, a big factor, and I mean that literally, because he's probably the only person that is taller than you at this moment, because I feel really small, is Chet Holmgren. He will be the X factor in this series for OKC. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Okay.
Chet I've been watching him since he was in college at Gonzaga. His ability to block shots, make baskets, alter shots, rebound. You know, he does a lot of things. Now he's had some injury problems that have stymied him since he's come to the NBA. And this is a big stage, but he was in a big stage in college. I don't think that's intimidating for him. But I know what SGA is. I know what J-Dub is. But they need Chet to be special.
Yeah, on the other side of things, the man that I guess shocked some people winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP was Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
The statement is he will continue his hot form and be a major problem for OKC.
No question. He's played in the finals before. He's a vet. He's not intimidated by this. Now, he has some length with Chet and Hartenstein defending him, so that could be challenging. But no, he's an amazing player.
Yeah. In terms of the overall picture of it, there's two very talented coaches. Coach Marc Daigneault for OKC, but for Rick Carlisle, this is not new to him. He's been in an NBA Finals. He's won it. The statement is Rick Carlisle's NBA Finals experience will come into play in this series.
I believe so. He's been there, done that. He has a great assistant coach in Lloyd Pierce, who used to be a head coach with the Atlanta Hawks next to him as well. They have a very strong coaching staff. So I actually think Rick is a better coach now than when he was with Dallas.
Wow.
I think he's learned how to relate with his players better, communicate with them better, adapt, even being an older guy in the coaching game to the younger guys and learning how to text, stuff like that.
That's new.
So, no, I really respect him as a coach.
Do you think that this matchup for him is harder than the Miami matchup? Or is that one a harder championship to win than this one?
I mean, he won that one.
Exactly.
And he's an underdog here.
Again.
So I would say this one's tougher.
This one's tougher.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not the least, in order for the Pacers to win the championship, they got to win at least one game in Oklahoma. So the statement is the Pacers will win at least one here in OKC.
Fact. I think so, and I think OKC is going to win a game there. I expect this to be a long series. Get used to Middle America. Get used to a hearty breakfast.
We're going to see a lot of it.
Get used to hay in farms.
Some actual hay, mean? Not the word hay. Some actual hay.
Yeah, some cowboy hats. Get used to all that. I'm expecting to be here for a long haul.
And the final,
I picked the Thunder in 7.
There you go. You set it up for me right there. Yeah. Thunder in 7. We're going a long way. Get used to Middle America. This is going to be fun.
And somewhere in Oklahoma City or Indianapolis, we're going to find some lumpia.
You know it. It's coming to his way.
I'm leaving it up to you to figure it out.
I'm going to find it. Marc Spears.
We're going to tape going to a Filipino restaurant in either OKC or Indiana if you can find it.
It's going to make
you might have to scour the whole state to do it.
Hey, let us know.
Pancit and lumpia.
Thank you so much, buddy. All right, I have not been in Oklahoma for more than 24 hours. I don't know where I'm going to find lumpia. Kung meron kayong alam, that has some adobo, pancit, I owe him some food for that great insight. But he's not the only one bringing some great insight today. Also joining us on the show, here's Youngmisuk. Joining us now on Nothing But Net Philippines is a man that is about on here as just as much as I am, our good friend Youngmisuk. We always ask it, and it's something that we're going to be looking forward to the rest of the NBA Finals. What is your one big thing? Storyline, matchup, stat, whatever. What is your one big thing for this series?
It's going to be the battle of point guard. Shai versus Haliburton, to me, is going to dictate what happens in these finals. I mean, yes, of course, OKC is terrific defensively. You have Indiana's pace. You have all those things, but it's going to come down to me, always with the stars. And so who's going to win that battle? Haliburton has to win that battle if Indiana has any shot in these finals. I'm not saying he's got to outscore the MVP and score 35 points or anything like that, but he has to have probably at least 5 good games in him, really excellent games. Not just about subpar, just good games. Excellent games for Indiana to have a shot.
Yeah, there was something that I asked Marc Spears, and I guess I'll ask it to you as well. Can OKC win this series with B-level performances?
Yes, because their defense is that good.
Okay.
So B-level performance might be like, Shai didn't have some 35-point triple-double or anything like that. You might not notice it because defensively, if they lock down on Indiana and they hold Haliburton to well below what he can do, force turnovers as well, well, then Indiana's in big trouble. Yeah. And that's why I feel like Shai doesn't have to have the great games. Haliburton, though, for Indiana has to have the great games for them to have a chance.
All right, we're going to start a brand new game here. It's called Give Me This or Give Me That. So I'm just going to say 2 things, and you just got to tell me which one you're going to go with and why. So let's start out with the head coaches. One is a coach of the year. The other one has already won an NBA Finals against arguably one of the greatest teams ever. Yeah. So if you had to pick one, Rick Carlisle or Marc Daigneault heading into the series, who has the upper hand?
I will give Carlisle the upper hand in that because Dagnall's an excellent coach.
Yeah.
But this is his first time at the NBA Finals. Everything is a first time for him, even dealing with the media of this level. So he's going to have to get used to that. Rick Carlisle has been to the finals many times as a player and now as a coach. And yes, if Indiana is going to have a chance, he also has to have an excellent series. Yeah. We've seen what he can do cooking up a storm with the Dallas Mavericks against LeBron and the Miami Heat. That has to happen again if Indiana has any chance.
I asked Marc this as well. Do you think that this matchup is harder for him or the LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh matchup?
I would say the LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh matchup, yeah. Because at that time, that team, we're talking about LeBron, early, young, not the youngest LeBron, but LeBron almost in his prime.
Yeah.
So, and Dwayne Wade, you had two Hall of Famers on that other side that he had to deal with. And yes, he had Dirk, he had Jason Kidd, he had Jason Terry, but that team was harder to beat.
Okay, give me this or give me that. The hot starts that OKC have so far in these postseasons, or the 7-1 in the closeout when down by 7+ in the fourth quarter for Indiana?
So I will take the Oklahoma City hot starts and how they play in the third quarter for the series.
Okay.
But for game one, Indiana's finished in that fourth quarter. If they're going to steal one in Oklahoma City, it likely has to be game one because of the layoff the Thunder have. And Pacers have to come in and kind of steal that first one. The second one's always harder to steal on the road. They got to steal game one, and they have to have the big fourth quarter.
You talked about the superstars. Give me this or give me that. J-Dub or Pascal Siakam?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with J-Dub. I think J-Dub is really emerging. I think I see a lot of it just reminds me a little bit of when they had James Harden here. Yeah. So I feel like J-Dub's emerging, and now he's on that big stage. Siakam was terrific in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's been very solid, but I think J-Dub can do more than Siakam.
Give me this or give me that. Oklahoma fans, game 1 and 2, or Indiana fans come game 3 and 4?
I will go with Oklahoma City. I have seen Pacers fans during a lot of Knicks-Pacers battles in the 90s.
Ooh.
Okay, I've seen fans dump beer on Larry Johnson as he was walking out that tunnel. But this place, I mean, it is like church is in session during basketball games. They all wear the same shirts. I mean, it's unbelievable. You don't see anything different than the blue and the white. And so I think I have not been to any of the finals games when they were in the finals with Kevin Durant and those guys, but I think here it is loud for regular season. It's going to be off the chain for the finals.
One last one. Give me this or give me that. Thunder or Pacers, and in how many?
I got the Thunder in 6.
Thunder in 6.
Yeah, and it could be over in 5 if this is a historically good defensive team, and if the MVP continues to play the way he does, this could be over in less than 6. But, look, I say this. I picked Denver over the Thunder in the second round. I came very close. If Aaron Gordon had stayed healthy, I don't know if the Thunder are here today in that Game 7. But because they were able to get by that Game 7, I felt like after that point, they were going to win the championship.
And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Youngmisuk joining us on Nothing But Net. And there you have it. That wraps up our efforts so far here to start out the NBA Finals. We will be back in the building again tomorrow for all the stuff that's going on before the game. And after, we'll give you some more insight when that time comes around. But until then, this has been Aaron Untitled for Nothing But Net Philippines. Again, follow us on all of our socials, at ESPNPH, at ESPN Asia as well. And we'll see you all online.